What's your oldest arcade machine that you've had? What was the first one that you got?
First one that I got, that was like 20 years ago, and I knew nothing, pretty much. I was just like, I think I want an arcade game. Time Killers. I don't know if you remember Time Killers. It was early 90s fighter, like animated kind of.
Yeah.
But it was like bloody because you could cut off like arms and legs and cut off somebody's head mid-match.
Yeah.
It was a pretty bad game. I mean, given the fighters that were out during that time period, Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat and everything, but that was the first one that I have, and I still have it actually. So.
No, that's great. How much does it cost to get into the new Challenger?
Well, pre-COVID, it was run very differently, because it was just sort of open to the public. It's a tight little space. It's sort of meant to be like an arcade of the past, if you remember Crazy Cats, sort of like that.
Yeah.
Used to be run on just sort of an hourly basis, or you pay for all day, or you could get a month pass and just come whenever you wanted, and everything's on free play. Now, what I've been doing since August 1st, I just started this just to kind of slow open and safely open with the COVID stuff that's going on. It's for $55. You can rent the place for 2 hours for a small group of up to 8 people. And you just come in the back private entrance and you have the whole arcade for 2 hours with your group. And some people have been taking advantage of that and coming in and having fun, getting out and doing something because there's not a whole lot to do. So.
Be one of the great things to do right now, I think. So people need to check it out. I'm going to introduce you again. This is Matt Payne. He's the owner of New Challenger Arcade, and Dayton, Ohio is where we're at here. How long have you lived in Dayton, Ohio, Matt?
Oh, my whole life. My whole life. Yep, born and raised.
It's always been home to me. My parents and, of course, my grandparents, they live in Tip City and in the surrounding areas in Inglewood and places like that, Trotwood as well. So always, no matter where I've lived, I've always been in Dayton. Every year I've been in Dayton, at least 3 or 4 times a year, even if I didn't live here. So
yeah.
The parking is good down there at New Challenger, right?
Well, right now the parking's very easy. Actually, but pre-COVID when we were using, because it's weird, it's going to be hard to explain, but we used to use the bike park's entrance. You would be in the bike park walking around, and then you would follow this little Pac-Man trail into the arcade.
Awesome.
The bike park's parking lot is very small. It is very small, maybe 10 spaces, and the place is usually pretty packed. But now that we're doing the private access only, you just park around the back, 221 Crane Street, and there's always ample parking on that street, so parking's never an issue.
Excellent. What was your first game as a kid that you remember?
My
first game you ever played?
First game that I ever played. I'm 41,
That's a tough one, huh?
That's a tough one. I really remember watching my older brothers play Smurfs on the ColecoVision. It was on the Coleco.
Okay, that was probably the first console then.
Yeah, and I think that was on that. First game I really played was probably Mario Brothers. To be honest with you, I wasn't an Atari kid. The first console that we really had in the house was the Nintendo, and I totally remember watching my brother play through Metroid and all that, and so I've always been mildly obsessed with video games.
Me too. I remember the actual opening of the box of Nintendo, which is really cool, and getting the gun for Duck Hunt and things like that.
Yeah.
Those days going to Blockbuster and renting a video game was a big deal over the weekend.
Yeah. You got to try it out, and then have the printed out instructions that were on a sticker on the back of the little clamshell case. Yeah,
I only got to level 4 and then I had to take it back,
Yeah. I think I rented Paperboy 20 times.
Oh, same here. That game was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic.
It sounds like you prefer the arcade over the console games. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. think I've always been that way. I don't know.
They're
just better in the arcade. The games are just the graphics is better. The controls are better.
Right.
The
sounds.
And I love fighting games, and like you're bumping shoulders with the person you're fighting. You know, you're not sitting on your couch eating chips, beating somebody up. But,
right.
Yeah. I always went there as a kid, you know, and it was like I just know that feeling of, you know, my mom dropping me off, like, okay, here's $5 or whatever, get some tokens, and
Magic Castle.
Trying to make it last as long as you possibly can. My spot, Magic Castle was pretty cool, and they're still in existence. I mean, they still, I guess, have some games, but
it's not bad.
Yeah, I think I played a bit of like Tekken there. That was when like Tekken came out. That was my spot. But Putt Putt, the little Putt Putt by Meyer on Stroop. It's not there anymore, but it's like that door sales place, but like this teeny little shed back there. That was where they had the arcade. And I love that place.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then of course Crazy Cats, which you might be too young to remember.
I am.
Crazy Cats was sort of the arcade, you know, growing up, and that's actually what New Challengers sort of modeled off after my memories of Crazy Cats. And I love it when people come in and they're like, this is like Crazy Cats.
That's
like,
excellent.
Yes, thank you. That's what I was going for. Like, you know, dark and black lights and, you know, just games, just the sound of the ambient sound of multiple games playing. So
I like hearing that. It sounds like you're reliving your dream all over again, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's totally for the love. I mean, it is really for the love. And you know, even like when all this stuff hit and everything shut down, I was just like, man, should I just give up and, you know, kind of move on? You know, because this isn't my career or anything. This is just sort of like an extension of my hobby and something I want to share with the community. And I'm just having a hard time walking away from it. I just love it too much. So
yeah, hang in there. There's a game that I really like that you have in there, and I haven't been able to come in there yet, but I'm planning on it. The one that really shocked me that I can't wait to get in and play is the Simpsons game.
Oh man, I got that years ago, and it had been. I have sort of a little workroom up there where I'm always fixing up whatever's coming out next, and it had been sitting there, you know, the entire time. And actually, one of the benefits of when all this COVID stuff hit, I had nothing to do because I was teaching from home. My arcade was closed, so I went through and I like repaired so many of my machines, rebuilt all the monitors, and Simpsons was one that took me a while to get running. Like the tube was kind of weak, didn't have a great picture, so I had to find a new tube, rebuild the monitor, and put it in. It's just that's in there now. So.
That's really cool that you repair the machines. It sounds like it's meant to be. Definitely hang in there for sure. And I'm throwing money your way, and I'm going to take my son down for sure and book some time.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, I'd love for you to stay alive for sure. So we talked about some consoles that you have already at home. The Switch. Is there any other consoles that you use at home?
We have an Xbox, Xbox One.
Right.
It collects dust.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
My son plays it. I don't play Xbox. I'm more of a PlayStation guy myself. Love to get a Nintendo Switch in the future because of mentioning Donkey Kong, Zelda. Huge fan of those games. I remember playing the Ocarina of Time on 64, and that whole experience was great for me. Mario Kart, absolutely. The one where you're battling all the different types of characters, Smash Brothers. That's really popular, a lot of fun. And then the one that you mentioned, Animal Crossing, I need to get involved with. I'm a huge gamer. Right now I'm playing Madden 2021. I play the football games every single year, so that's a hobby of mine. And always into Star Wars.
10-yard fight.
What's
Do you
that?
remember 10-yard fight?
No.
10-yard fight?
No.
Man, okay, it was an old black box Nintendo game. You know how the first 10 or 12 games were in black boxes?
Right.
You know, like the Mario style box.
Yeah.
10-yard fight. It's offense only. I have the cabinet in my garage, and I am addicted to it. And I don't care about sports, like, really at all. But, like, that game, for some reason, oh, so fun.